You look at yourself. Like, a lot of people are quick to do anything for a check, and I understand money pays the bills. That's important, but like, you really have to understand what's important to you at the core of everything that you do. Like,
let me ask you this stat, like,
okay,
because money is important.
Yes.
And people like to live a better life. What do you think about females who go get shit on in Dubai?
They don't have any morals.
Yeah.
They don't. A lot of, not even girls who do stuff in Dubai, a lot of stuff, girls who do their everyday thing do not have any morals.
Yeah, man.
Because people at this point, it's like a line between like there's a line between survival and like luxury. A lot more people are like,
I like that.
No, because it's like a big thing. It's like some women are at the point where it's like they're not just trying to survive, they're trying to portray a life that they cannot afford. Like if you have a job already, you are blessed, right? If you are making your own money, you're blessed. People want beyond that. People are like, okay, I make money, but I want to go first class to Dubai. I want a Chanel bag. I want to fly this. I want to, like, that is not realistic for the everyday person. Like, that's why social media to me makes no sense right now, because people have these unrealistic expectations of life that is not what the everyday person is doing. I know social media glorifies everything, and we're seeing rappers and athletes and actors and stuff, and that's great, but they've also worked really hard to get to those points, and some people on the other side have gotten real lucky. But it's like, you cannot expect like a luxury lifestyle if you can't provide that. And then I understand some people,
that's it. That's the thing right now, right there. If you can't provide that lifestyle for you, then it's not your lifestyle, it's borrowed, right? And if it's borrowed, then it's only a matter of time before it's going to have to be returned. If me being with you means you get to have that taste of luxury, that means you get to do the trips, you get to do the multiple vacations a year, you get to have 3-4 cars, you know, in the household, 5-6 cars in the household. When I'm gone, that leaves with me. It was never your lifestyle, it was borrowed time, and it was borrowed probably under the assumption that if I provide this, you then also provide this. Once that equation sort of breaks down, for whatever reason, so too does this arrangement. It's never your lifestyle if you can never sustain it on your own. I think that needs to be understood. That needs to be clear. Whenever we see so many women talking on social media that you can't afford me. No, I can't afford what your delusional dream says I should be affording. In reality is again real. It's going to tell you that this isn't really how it works. When I'm gone, if you can't do the same things without going into debt, without you struggling, without you robbing Peter to pay Paul, to believe that you can do these things, then it was never you. It was just I helped inflate that. For whatever reason where we can't associate these two things, or we can't make these two things sort of make sense, it's almost like oil and water. Because you dated someone that allowed you to do those things before, that their lifestyle uplifted and buoyed yours, you somehow now think this is how you are. And this is not something that it's not a dig, but it's for us to have a better understanding. It's the same way when you guys have a one-night stand, but he is an 8-9, right? And he is everything you've ever wanted, successful, handsome, but you had a one-night stand. For in your mind, you now equate your level, how you see yourself, with that. I was able to pull that. I was able to do that. You quietly forget. You quietly ignore that thing where you say, well, men will fuck anything, right? That part you've ignored. That part you don't really acknowledge. You don't acknowledge there's a slow Tuesday. You don't acknowledge that it was 4 a.m. You don't acknowledge that he never returned your calls after that. But you tend to now associate your level with him. Listen, before we continue, and we let this play out a lot longer, because there's a lot more gems in this one. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss new uploads. Still going strong, still trying to do 2 a day, even though the algorithm is currently adjusting, right? But, you know, we'll just keep on posting, doing what we're supposed to do.
People are just gonna do anything for a check, but like, that's when you lose like who you are. Like, just for what? A bag? Yeah. A first class flight? Really?
Yeah, I think honestly it's time to define that statement, because it gets stated so much about what does it mean to sell your soul. all you're really saying is money make your decisions. If that definition is the real definition, then even the people that think they're not selling their soul is selling their soul.
No, I think there's a conscious decision when it comes down to selling your soul. There's a conscious understanding that what I'm doing now is going against my actual values. I'm doing this. I don't agree with it, but I'm fine with doing it because I want the outside thing first. I want the money. I want the influence. I want what this gives me. When I'm eroding part of who I am in order to get the bag, I think that's selling your soul. It's not simply, hey, you go to a job that you hate. Yeah, man, I don't want to go to work. You can have a fantastic job. And I was having this conversation earlier today and remembering trying to keep my mindset in a place where I remember praying and hoping and wishing upon a star for a job like the one I have now. But now I'm miserable because I don't want to do this particular part of it. You used to pray for this. We get like that with everything we do. We find the worst of it and we let that be the bedrock and say, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But if you can remove yourself and understand, no, this whole thing used to be something I considered a blessing. Now my blessing will be something different, something else. And even if you got that, now that thing would change. It's very different from you selling your soul actively and saying, right, that's easy example, easy, horrible example, right? It's Anakin killing the kids, right? Killing the younglings. Yeah, you sold out. That went against your creed. That went against what you wanted. That went against what was important to you, right? You're trying to find a way to save Padme and your kids, so you kill other kids. Doesn't make any sense, right? Doesn't make any sense. But that's you selling part of you. That's you making this decision changes something about you internally forever in a critical sort of manner. That's the sale, not you just doing something that you don't really like.
They made decisions just for money.
All around deep conversation because people.
I just want to say something too to Cam when he was talking about the girls shitting in Dubai. They also got to eat the shit as well. And it's just not for that night. It's for the week.
So it's a contract.
Yeah, it's a contract. You got to eat the shit
That's
as well.
Crazy.
Shit eaters. Yeah,
So when the female rappers go to Dubai, they have to eat it?
If they want to get shit on, that's part of the contract.
I think we covered it. We covered a story just like that where women that's exactly what she did. She had health problems afterwards. But yeah, I would say if you in your normal life don't really eat shit for a week and you're doing that for the bag, you can consider, yeah, you sold the part of you. You now know this is an area where you are willing to go. You've discovered this, you've opened it. You know, it's Xbox Live fetish unlocked, right? Kink unlocked. Part of your soul, 10% of your soul sold. That's the difference. But our love of money, our love of what money allows us to do, lets us sell off pieces of us, a little bit at a time. And you think that you sold it one time and it becomes, all right, I'm not losing more of myself. No, it's a continuing process. You keep doing these things. You look at some of the testimonies of OF girls after the fact or porn stars after the fact, and they tell you how detrimental it was. They tell you how awful it was, how they feel about men now. And it's in the typical sort of fashion where there's not a lot of accountability being taken, but you don't look at men the same way. You look at men and you see them in this very specific way. And one creator I recently came across, she said, I became so male. I'm so male centered now. I can only make content one way that just appeals to men. That's sort of what happens when you slowly sell part of yourself. We never really understand or give enough credence to what it takes to regain that. If it's possible to regain that. We just look and say, well, we understand that you paid the cost. You got what you wanted. You got the money. But now no one ever looks and says, I'm 20 years old. I'll probably live another 50 to 60 years. What is that supposed to look like? Who am I? How am I supposed to reconcile with what I've done, especially with some of that stuff, becoming easily accessible? How do I reconcile the two people? How do I move on for this? Because you can't do that forever, the corn or the OF. You can't do that forever. There's a very specific look. There's a youth, or there's increasingly parts more of your soul you have to sell off to stay relevant. Many creators tell you that very early on. They were just trying to do tasteful little shots, completely closed, but the attention and the money starts drying up. So you have to escalate. You have to do more. And now you're showing the most intimate parts of you online for request for everyone to see for $4.99. But you're getting the money. And we've put that as the most important thing in our society. But then your story stops there. We're not going to cover creators like Sophie Rain. We're not going to cover her in her later years and say, well, what happened? How's it feel? What's your outcome like? Was the money worth it? Was it enough? And even if we do pay attention to those, we're not going to get real stories. We're not going to get honest stories about, no, this was too much of a price. I can't function in the same way I wish I could before. Or maybe it is different. Maybe they're like, no, it's a different society. It's a different type of generation. They're like, I'm completely fine. The money keeps me warm at night. You let me know, down in the comments. If you see videos on your screen right now, take a look at those. Let me know your thoughts about those in those videos. And if you had not subscribed, we're just trying to build something dope. I'll see you in the next one.